Simone, teamwork really makes the dream work.
It does, Kenisha. But what if this team is virtual? Come with us while we discuss teamwork in a virtual space. So for many businesses, teamwork is a must. But what if we're working from home? And the government has ordered a mandate to work from home for those who can. So let us discuss how do we maneuver the virtual space. So my guest today is a very good friend of mine and also the president of the Manchester Chamber of Commerce, Mrs. Kenisha Dwyer-Powell. Welcome.
Thank you, Simone.
To our episode of Blue Nuggets. Now, you can tell a little bit about yourself and what it is that you're doing now.
Okay, wonderful. So I talk for a living, full stop. I'm currently employed to JMMB and I love to volunteer, I love to help, I love to just be on the road getting things done. That's pretty much Kenisha in a nutshell, and of course you cannot leave out the fun part.
Of course.
Anything fun, I'm in.
That's Kenisha. Right, and that's how we connected too. So we're going to talk about your capacity as a team leader or as a manager working in a virtual space. You want to tell us, when they had mandated this work from home, how did that initially, how did you take that?
Well, that was new for all of us. So all the adjectives that you can find that put you on the side of being scary, you're anxious, you're scared, you're not sure how you're going to do it. Pretty much has never been done before. So it's a lot of getting to know what this working from home looks like. You have the capability, you have the stamina. It was just a new environment that we had to maneuver.
Definitely. So what are some of the challenges that you faced with your team working virtually?
So initially, I'm sorry that I have to say this here, but this is Jamaica and we don't always have the best in terms of technology when we need to have it on the go.
Yes.
So some of the initial hiccups were connectivity issues. So 1 minute you're connected, then you spend another 2 hours trying to get connected. You have reports to do, you have a lot of things to do, so imagine that frustration, right? So you had the connectivity issues. Then you had the issue of you're in an office setting. When you're a little bit tired or you want to take a 5, you can go to your team member's desk and you can run a little joke and so when you're at home you're alone.
True. So that must have been, how I deal with this.
And then you're not sure. Initially, right, we're talking about the initial stage, you're not sure, how do I manage my performance? Am I doing enough? Then you spend extra hours and you wonder if, I worked at home today. Did I put in the same number of hours and energy that I should have at the office?
And it's probably also highlighted too. Was I really putting in enough work at the office?
I hope none of our managers are
listening.
It's a real thing. And then you had to, you're going to be working on your own. Even though you had supervision, you had check-ins, etc., but pretty much you're on your own. So it was a little bit challenging at first.
So how did you overcome it? Like what did you put in place to kind of deal with some of those challenges?
So the biggest thing for me was knowledge, and for my team and teams that I've worked with. Once you got a better understanding of what working from home meant, once you got a better understanding of some of the coping tips. So for example, some of the things we did as a team, we had frequent check-ins.
Yes.
And not only check-ins on the phone to say, okay, Simone, how are you doing now? Is the report done? What time you give me the next report? How are you managing today? You check in and then you also do little fun things. So in between those calls, you probably do a quick video call.
Okay.
Or you do a WhatsApp call, or you take a break. So the check-ins, this is very important. The check-ins do not always have to be about work.
Right.
It's about the person. Yes, so that was one of them that really worked. And another thing that really works too, you have to give your team members the space to be.
Yes.
Right? So it's not at the office anymore where you know what to expect exactly, and you can physically check in every now and then. So you have to find out from the team, okay, Simone, we've been doing this for 3 days now or a week. What works best for you?
Right.
When do you think is a good time?
That's true, because you're trying to fit in everything else at home and all the distractions and these connectivity issues and all of these things. You have to figure, okay, am I more productive at this time or that time? Because home and work is totally different. Yeah, I can just imagine. So even with that, like the differences, like did you see some stark differences between being physically there and virtually?
Initially, yes. And you had to manage a lot of emotions. That's the first major difference. And then gradually team members got to understand the space more and what is required. You saw synergy, team members forming bonds, forming teams within teams. So if I'm at home and let's say I'm not very good with Zoom or Teams, but I can collaborate with another team member who knows how to. So it's a lot of collaboration. And I just want to piggyback quickly. You said something about distractions. Can I tell you about distractions? So,
yes, please.
And I'm giving a personal experience now. So sometimes I will have meetings. Of course, you're not going to show up at a meeting. You want the team leader to know that you're prepared. You're prepared for the meeting.
Right.
Things happening in your house.
It does.
Sash upstairs shouting, the baby crying. Sometimes Nigel don't remember that I'm in a meeting. He might call out, Kenisha, you turn off the kettle? And all of those things. So it took a while. So
Yes, I can definitely relate. Even with the meetings, and then my daughter would pop up and put her head in the camera.
But you know what? After time, we got to the space where we said, it is okay.
It is.
It's okay.
Because it's life is happening, and this is the new normal. You kind of have to just accept it per se. You know, you're not going to be unprofessional, but these things are happening while you're going on.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So, what are some of the tips, having gone through this, because we've been doing this for like
a year.
Over a year, yes. What are some of the tips you would give?
Okay, so mindset is very important, super important. So not because you're working from home, take it seriously, right? Get up, have a shower. Have a shower, please. If you wear makeup, if you normally wear makeup to work, you might want to do it light. You don't have to spend an hour if you normally spend an hour, but get dressed for work in the mind frame. That helps. Set schedules. Schedule is very important. So if you normally take a break at 10 to have a cup of coffee or you eat lunch at 12, it's important that you keep that going.
Right.
Get hydrated, because if you're not careful, you could be sitting at the computer for 5-6 hours, right? You also need to create a nice little workspace. You need a definite place that you know this area is designed for work.
Right.
When your family sees you going into that area or that
They
room,
know. They
right.
know.
And set some boundaries. So you're at home, yes. Like I said, you don't have clients or your team leaders passing over you all the time. But you have to tell your friends, listen, I'm going to be at work, so don't stop video calling every 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
Or you put the phone on mute or vibrate. So little things like those, and ask for feedback. Don't be afraid to ask your team leader. You know, I've been at home for a week now. How am I performing?
Right.
I did this on my own. What's the feedback? How can I improve? So those are just some of the things that I've found that really help.
Those are some great tips, Kenisha. So we need to really dress the part. We could put ourselves together. We might, put our mind in that frame of mind to get ready for work. Designate a space and set some boundaries. I think those are some good takeaways from this. Anything else you want to add as we close out here?
Yes, this time is excellent. When I say excellent, this sounds like cliche, but you have to learn something new. Yes. Working from home also gives you a certain level of freedom.
Yes.
You find that you might have a little bit more time every hour. You might have another 5 minutes. What are you doing with that time? Learn a new skill, go online, do a certificate, you're always interested in cosmetology. Can you do something online? So use your time wisely and don't focus on what is not working. Focus on what is working and how you can improve it.
And what you can control.
Yes.
That is so good.
Yes.
And with that, guys, we want to thank you for joining us for another episode of Blue Nuggets. I want to thank my guest, this is Kenisha Dwyer-Powell, for being here with us. Please remember to like this video, subscribe, and follow us on all the social media channels. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.